Hello children, good morning. Standard ninth. Myself Mrs. Raj Nandini will be teaching you social studies. This lesson History 1. Rise of British rule in India. First of all children, you all know in shortly like on 15th August we celebrated 15th August as an Independence Day. That means before that we were not independent. We got independence on 15th August 1947. Since then, our country, India, is an independent nation and we celebrate this day with great pomp and show. We have two national festivals. One is 15th August, every year we celebrate, and another one 26th January, which is Republic Day. What is Republic Day? That I will tell you later. But now we will first talk about independence. So how these British, they came to India and they started ruling us, and there was a rise of their rule, that is British rule in India. You all have to read the lesson. After I complete the lesson, whatever I have taught you, you have to read it twice and try to find out the answers. Anyway, I'll give you the clues. I'll give you the page numbers. You have to find the answers by reading the textbook. Twice at least you have to read it. And now also pay attention word by word. Since the ancient period, India has enjoyed an incomparable position in the whole world due to its economic, cultural and religious inheritance. That means we were quite rich economically. Our culture, they give the countries of the world give an example of our culture, that is Indian culture. As we are economically very strong and prosperous, cultural wise we have inherited from our ancestors a lot. So people from different nation, they came to India. That is different countries, they got attracted and they came to India. And also our Indian spices, muslin, silk, cloth, indigo, etc. was lot in demand. European countries were asking for these things. That means they are in great demand. People used to like these things. So, trade between India and Europe was carried out through land route and sea route. And at the center of these routes were Istanbul, that is Constantinople, which was in Turkey. Now you know what happened after the conquest of Constantinople in 1453 by Turkish Muslims. The sea route through Constantinople, that is Istanbul, was closed for the Europeans. Try to understand. There was a trade between India and Europe, and it was carried out through land route and sea route. And the center was Istanbul, which is in Turkey. But after the conquest of this place, Istanbul, that is Constantinople, in 1453, the sea route was closed for Europeans. That means Europeans were not able to reach India for trade. Since they could not do without the spices, that is masale, and Indian masalas are very famous. You must have seen this. Like in a movie, if you remember children, if you have watched the movie Queen, in that, what the Rani, that is, who is that Rani? Yes, you all know, Kangana Ranawat. How she has showed that how the spicy pani puris are famous, and even the English enjoyed it. Masale, 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 right? So the Europeans felt compelled to discover a new sea route, and then we should say an era of geographical discoveries began. Now, with the inspiration, encouragement and economic help from the Portuguese king Prince Henry, some brave people began efforts to discover a new sea route. Now they want to go through a sea route. Many great men tried to discover sea route to India, namely Bartholomew Diaz, who discovered the Cape of Good Hope. With the economic assistance from the King of Spain, Christopher Columbus began his adventure of discovering a new sea route, which again came to a stop at an island, presently known as West Indies, which is situated in the Atlantic Ocean. Columbus, who had believed throughout this life that he had discovered a new sea route to India, had actually discovered a new land. Since the clarification was made by Amerigo Vespucci, this new land began to be known as America. So the Columbus reached America, but he thought as if he is now at India. But at present, that time he was not in India, but he reached to America. Now this map 1.1, which gives you a clear picture of sea route to India. Constantinople, the old waterway and the new waterway. You have to see this and try to understand. The Portuguese sailor Vasco da Gama discovered a sea route to India in 1498 AD. When he reached Calicut in the western coast of India, he was welcomed by King Zamorin and allowed to carry out business there. Thus, this is considered to be an important event in the world. Because why it is said to be an important event in the world? Because this has been opened the doors for the other Europeans to come to India for trade. Now we'll move to the next. Arrival of Europeans to India, the other Europeans, for doing trade, for establishing the trade centers. The Portuguese were the first who came to India. Within a span of 100 years, they took control over many territories like Diu, Daman, Goa, Kochi, Malacca, etc. Inspired by the Portuguese success in trade, the Dutch, that means they are from Holland, and the Danish from Denmark, they also arrived India because they came to know how Portuguese got a good place in India. They started controlling also few places in Daman, so they also got attracted. The people from the Dutch people from Holland and from Denmark. The English traders established the East India Company to carry out trade with India. In 1600, when Queen Elizabeth of England gave the permission to the East India Company to carry out trade with the eastern countries, the first ship under the leadership of Captain William Hawkins arrived in Surat. Now we are talking about the British. Queen Elizabeth of England, that means British. She was the Queen of England. So she gave the permission to the East India Company. They formed a company. And why they formed the company? To start a trade with the eastern countries. The first ship which came to India in the leadership of Captain William Hawkins, which first arrived in Surat. But due to the dominance and oppositions from Portuguese were already here. So they were dominant, and also they opposed the British. They were not allowed to do their trade because they are dominant, as I told you. They have whole and soul of that area under them. Most of the places were occupied by them. So they were not allowing the British to enter and start with their trade. But this East India Company got the permission from the Mughal Emperor Jahangir. That time, the Mughal Emperor. Now the emperors were having their place, that is, they were ruling from Delhi to most of the parts of India. So Jahangir was the one, that time a Mughal Emperor. He gave the permission. And British East India Company established its first trade center, Koti, in Surat in 1613 AD. Initially, the company established its trade centers in Surat, Bharuch and Ahmedabad. These are the three important places, all the three are in Gujarat. But due to the strong presence of Marathas in the region, Marathas were present during that time, the company sensed danger to its existence. Now, company को यूँ लगा कि हमें तो कोई डर है, and hence moved towards the south and east direction, where they set up their centers in Machilipatnam, Andhra Pradesh, St. George, Chennai, and Fort William, Kolkata. Eastern states, Kolkata, and the western Andhra and Chennai. Mumbai became their headquarters in 1687. Which year? 1687. Now, after this, after British, the French East India Company arrived in India in 1668, and eventually they also started their trade centers. They established the trade centers in Mahe, Karaikal, Pondicherry, Chandranagar, Machilipatnam, etc. And in the 18th century, English and French were constantly busy establishing their rule in the entire world and conquering more territories. It is not only of India. French, that means they were from France, and the British, they entered India in the namesake of doing trade with India, but along with that, simultaneously, they were also establishing their rule in the different parts of the world. Between 1746 and 1763, there were three Mysore wars between the French East India Company and the British East India Company in India. Three wars occurred between these two East India companies, French and British, and in which the French East India Company lost, thus making easy the expansion of British rule. Ultimately, if you understand, these both fought and French East India Company lost. So what will happen? The other will be more powerful. So they won. So they had a more expansion, that is British East India Company. Thus at the end of this battle for power, the Portuguese left with New Daman, Goa. Now the Portuguese are having only these three places. Daman is near to us, as you all know. This is at present it is a union territory. So these three places, Diu, Daman, Goa, while French had their trade centers as Chandranagar, Mahe, Karaikal and Pondicherry. Meanwhile, the Dutch had to leave forever. Now, the Battle of Plassey. Try to understand. There are too many questions. 2 to 3 questions will be in this area. So try to understand it, children. Siraj-ud-Daulah was ruling over Bengal. Due to his impulsive nature, he had some opponents in his state. His nature was not that kind and soft spoken. So he had some opponents. Opponents मतलब थोड़े दुश्मन थे उनके. Siraj-ud-Daulah, who was ruling over Bengal. So during this period, the British East India Company built a fortress around the trade center in Kolkata on pretext of security reason. What British East India Company? They already reached there in that place, and in Kolkata they built a fortress, right? And without taking the permission of Nawab. He was a Nawab of that place and the permission was not being taken from him. And on the top of that they built a fortress. किला बना दिया वहाँ पे. But Nawab Siraj-ud-Daulah destroyed the fortress. उन्होंने सारा तहस नहस कर दिया. When this news reached Madras, ये बात कहाँ पहुँची? मद्रास. A small army of company led by Robert Clive reached Bengal in order to help the Kolkata trade center. Now British, what they did? They asked the help from Chennai, and from there a small army came over there to just see the matter, what is happening. In spite of army of East India Company being strong, East India Company was having a strong army, but they realized that it was not easy to defeat Nawab's army. They were much more stronger than the East India Company. So Robert Clive restored to treasury. A conspiracy was planned in order to defeat the Nawab, in which the Nawab's commander-in-chief Mir Jafar and Seth Ami Chand were coaxed to join. What they did? They planned a conspiracy. उन्होंने क्या किया? उनका जो नवाब था, नवाब का जो कमांडर था उसको और उस एक और बंदे को, they joined them, asked them to join them. On the pretext that the Nawab is unnecessarily harassing the people, a war was declared at the ground near a village named Plassey. They started a war. The place was Plassey. The Battle of Plassey was fought on 23rd June 1757 AD. The battlefield of Plassey is situated 38 kilometers from Murshidabad, that is West Bengal. Now, according to the plan, Mir Jafar lost the battle, Sirajudaulah was defeated, and due to Robert Clive's treachery. The Battle of Plassey ended in just a half day. The company, as a result, got a free hold over 24 parganas. That means the regions which came under the hand of British. Now, Mir Jafar was made the Nawab of Bengal. Sirajudaulah was removed out, and this Mir Jafar became the Nawab. And thus the foundation of company's rule in India was laid with the Battle of Plassey in 1757. Next comes the Battle of Buxar. The Britishers made Mir Jafar a Nawab, right? And under his pretext, means उसके कहने पे, उसके हिसाब से, उसके कहने पर, tried to extract plenty of wealth from him. He was only having a लालच of becoming a Nawab, और पर्पसली उसे बनाया गया जिसमें कि उसका फ़ायदा उठाया जाए. बहुत सारी वेल्थ उससे लेने लगे ब्रिटिश. Due to their greed to gain more powers, the East India Company managed to dethrone Mir Jafar. Now they wanted to remove him also from the throne and made Mir Qasim the Nawab. Now Mir Qasim proved to be more ambitious than Mir Jafar and thus became the threat for the company. He was also more ambitious. So hence Mir Qasim was removed and Mir Jafar was again made the Nawab. So they did it again, changing the Nawabs according to their choice and according to their greed and according to their requirements. Mir Qasim took refuge with the Nawab of Awadh. Now Mir Qasim went to Nawab of Awadh. So during that time when he went to meet the Nawab of Awadh, the Mughal Emperor Shah Alam had come to Awadh. So all the three of them decided that now we will be unitedly fighting with the British East India Company's head. At Buxar, the East India Company fought against United Army on 22nd October 1764, in which the United Army, they were three together, they unitedly fought with the British, but it couldn't work out. They all lost. Thus, the company got the Diwani rights. That means, what is the meaning of Diwani rights? Right to collect revenue, that is taxes, from Bihar, Orissa and Bengal. Now all this happened and then expansion of the company rule. Now the English government passed a regulating act in 1773 AD, according to which the governor of Bengal was made a governor general and all the trade and political activities of the company were brought under his control. Now they had a governor of Bengal and all the activities of the company was under his control. The Mumbai Madras governor and his council were brought under him. Thus, Warren Hastings became the first governor general. Here the picture is given, General Warren Hastings, the first governor general of India. During the tenure, that means till when he was a governor general of India, in his time span, उनके रहते रहते, the first Maratha war and the second Mysore war with Hyder Ali of Mysore was waged. The problems for the East India Company increased because it had to face both the powers simultaneously. Cornwallis took over the Governor General after Warren Hastings. During his tenure of Cornwallis, the third Mysore war took place with Tipu Sultan, who was famously known as Tiger of Mysore. The company had to join hands with the Marathas and the Nizams to defeat the Tipu Sultan. Tipu could not win against the combined forces and had to accept the treaty. After Cornwallis, Sir John Shore became the Governor General. Due to some rigid policies adopted by him, the East India Company fame declined and the Marathas became stronger. I will continue in the next part.